So, on my hand right here is a female Demon diadema or a Tanzanian tailless whip scorpion. If I zoom, can I zoom in? Yeah, boy. Look at that. As you can see, she's got a mealworm keeping her company, keeping her stomach company, to be more precise. And these guys, you may have guessed, come from Tanzania. You also find them in Kenya as well as other central parts of Africa. And they live in normally very dark habitats like caves, although you do find them outside of caves like under loose tree bark and logs, but even then they only come out at night and they sort of wander around after darkness. And they have really poor vision. Like if I zoom in again, can you see that weird tiny black dot between her two little mouth parts, that tiny black dot? Yeah, those are her eyes. That's like a cluster of eyes right there. And as you can see, it's not very impressive. They have very poor vision, and their main sense are these long quote-unquote antennae. You can't see if I'm doing a little finger quotation thing. And I say that because they're not actually antennae, they're actually legs. And they are known as antennae-formed legs. And they work exactly the same as antennae. They use them for feeling the world around them, as well as tasting and smelling the world around them, and picking up on chemical senses, etc. And what's really cool, actually, there was a study done, and they had three groups. They had one group which was perfectly normal, different species from this, but very similar species, but a different one, not this exact species. And what they did is they moved them 10 meters away from their home, and they put tiny micro radio trackers on them, and they could see if they could find their way back. Now, the group that had nothing done to them, they found their way back, no problem whatsoever. The group that had a little bit of stuff put on their eyes they couldn't see, found their way back, no problem whatsoever. The group that had their vision perfectly fine, they still had their vision, but they had his little legs removed, they couldn't find their way back. They're just wandering around aimlessly, being like, oh bugger, this is my life now. I do not know anything. It's kind of like a blind person walking around with literally nothing, which indicates that their vision is basically not important. So it's basically like not really there. It probably can only tell the difference between light and dark. To be honest, that's probably the most it can do. But the main senses are these legs, and when they find something tasty to munch on, they will then start sort of like touching up with their legs, and they'll go running towards it, and they'll extend their pedipalps and grab it and pull it into themselves like this, and then they eat it. They have no venom. They can't bite you. They can't do anything to you. They got no venom. They can just overpower it, restrain it, and then basically eat its face alive. Pretty much is what they have to do. So pretty grim. It's kind of, if you've seen a mantis strike, it's exactly like a mantis strike, but instead of the legs going downwards or forwards, or not downwards, these are going forwards but like sideways, if that makes sense. Like you can see, it's kind of like a very flat profile, and this flat profile allows it to move into tiny nooks and crannies which many other animals can't access. Now I'm going to put you back, and don't drop your mealworm, because you did a very good job tonight, didn't you? You did a very good job. There you go. So we've just got back because she was being used in an educational encounter for the brownies, which is that girl guiding group. And I thought, you know what, she probably won't eat, she'll be a bit too stressed, but I thought I'd see if she would eat, and sure enough, she has eaten, so that's very, very nice. She's going to go for a little wander around right now and try to escape the light. But the kids love her. People love her for educational encounters because, you might have recognised this, it's from Harry Potter. In one of the films, like Goblet of Fire, I believe it is. She's gone on the roof now. I think it's Goblet of Fire. There's that Mad Eye guy, the guy with the glass eye, and it turns out he's David Tennant in disguise. He's practicing the curses on them, so he's like zapping them with his wand, and they're like, apart from the one that gets the Avada Kedavra, it just like dies, like instant death, just gone. And yeah, these are the things that he did his tests on to show students. So a lot of people see it and either interested because it's cool and funky looking, or B, they're like, oh, I know that. That's from Harry Potter. I did not know that was real. I thought that was a made-up thing. Now I'm like, no, it is a real thing. And then we can go boom, boom, boom. These are cool things about it. Now, she's only just been moved into the setup. This setup used to have a tarantula in and be laid out very differently. However, I've moved the tarantula into a bigger home, and I figured, hey, she would love the space. Hence why she's got a bigger home right now. It's not pretty. It's pretty ugly. But she can use it all. I would love to do a proper background, get rid of this like white, get rid of the white foam and do a proper background and have things fixed in place and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, she's an educational animal. I need to be able to get her out for the encounters. It doesn't affect her welfare. Her welfare is very fine. She's got a massive amount of surface area, but this just means I can go and easily remove stuff and collect her. and she can get all behind here, etc. And even this white frame, she can get behind it on the other side. It's not fixed in place. So she's very, very happy. It's just that my welfare is compromised, and I'm like, oh god, it's quite ugly, isn't it? But she's trying to get out. She might bump into one of the false widows up here, because there's a false widow. There's a few false widows living in the setup that I've left in here. But yeah, I've had her for years. Very, very good for encounters. People love them. They can't do anything. Very easy to keep. The only thing is you need to allow them to hang upside down to molt. They can't molt on the floor. They have to be able to hang upside down. If you're using a locust molt, and you see how they like to go upside down, exactly like that. That's kind of how they like to molt. And if they don't have somewhere like the mesh here, or a branch like this, you can see there's some massive distance between the floor and that branch, they can't molt, they get stuck in it, they end up dying, and that's the main cause of death for these guys, that or keeping them too wet and hot. They like things a bit on the cooler side, and they like things a bit damp, but you let them dry out sort of thing. I spray her once every 2 weeks or so, and I feed her about 4 to 6 times a year. So a very low maintenance pet, a very, very cool pet, very interesting. In the day, you won't see it, but at night, if you're a person that stays up late at night, you have the bedroom lights off, and then you turn them on, or you have like your phone light on, you'll see these guys wandering around and being very, very active. And so should really be given quite a bit of space to roam, which is very, and they go back in, go on, I don't want to catch your thingy on the door. So a very cool pet, and very much worth considering keeping.